last time on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX!
ねえ、カラマツ兄さん、なんで釣り堀でカッコつけてんの？誰を意識してんの？
はあ、そのことか。
もしかしても
仕事のことはノープランだ。
うなんで貯めたの？
Welcome back, Slifer Slackers. Now, some of you have probably just clicked on this video, disliked it, and left your comment explaining why I'm wrong without watching it. And to those of you who did that, your negativity only makes me stronger. For those still here, yes, I do think this is the worst season of GX. I don't really think it's for any objective reasons, it's just personally, I don't like this season. I think after the last one too, I finally figured out why I don't like this season as well as parts of the first one. It's that Yu-Gi-Oh! GX seems to have this really big problem of setting up awesome things like awesome characters, awesome developments, awesome stories, awesome powers or whatever, and then they do nothing with them. It feels like this anime blue balls me. I didn't think that was possible. As I'm going to show, there are things this season that I did like and that I wanted to see come to fruition, but they just don't. It's crazy. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and just tell you about it. Well, I am. That's the point of the video. I'm just going to show you. Let's get into season 2, okay? I just want to say for the record, I'm also in just super not giving a fuck mood right now, as you can tell by my unbridled enthusiasm. Let's just say my anxiety and depression have kept me from sleeping for the past several days. So if I'm a little extra grumpy today, that's why. It's year 2 at the Academy, and Chancellor Shepard is gone. So Crowler is now in charge, I guess, and he has a new lackey in Vice Chancellor Bonaparte. They are excited because a pro-duelist, Aster Phoenix, is enrolling in the Academy today. But he doesn't show up. Instead, they meet Tyranno Hasselberry, a new raw yellow who is pretty much a military brat.
I'm the best duelist west of the Rio Grande, so why am I stationed in the Yellow Barracks? That's because, well, you see, you have way too much charm, not to mention joie de vivre, and tons of je ne sais quoi. Well, thanks, I think.
There's a reason they can't find Aster, because he's dueling Jaden, of course. Jaden and the others don't know who he is, but Dorothy shows up, the owner of the card shop, if you remember her, saying that Aster showed up and bought random packs and combined them into the deck he's playing now. Yeah, he's playing a deck of random cards and Jaden almost loses to it, but manages to pull out the dub. After Aster leaves, everyone realizes he's a super famous pro-duelist, and they wonder why he dueled Jaden with random mishmash of cards instead of his own deck. And according to Aster, it was because he was testing Jaden. Wonder why. The next episode, we immediately get to another reason why this season kind of sucks. So first off, let me describe what I consider filler. Because it seems like I think from the past several Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos, you guys think I don't like filler, which I don't. There can be good ones though. But what I consider filler specifically are arcs or episodes that clearly have no connection to anything that's going on in the main story. Like the Virtual World arc just kinda happens and then they never mentioned it. Or the Leviathan arc kinda just happens and they barely mention it later, but you know what I mean. Most importantly, those arcs were never part of the original manga of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is why they're filler. They were used to fill in time until the manga caught up. That's why it's called that. I'm pointing this out because I think some of you thought that I wouldn't like Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX because all the filler in it. There's no filler in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, guys. I don't know if you know this. This is an original anime, okay? Everything here is meant to be told together. Yes, there are standalone episodes that don't come back, but that's what those are, standalone, not filler. There is a difference. And even if it was filler, like I said, I liked those episodes. I mean, it had a dueling monkey and Moki Moki. It's amazing. So again, as long as it's good, I don't care what you call it. Filler, standalone, part of the main story, who gives a shit? As long as it's good, who cares? Am I right? The point I'm trying to make is some people might say this season also has some filler episodes, like the episode Today, which you might think is important because it involves everyone's Lord of Evolval, Chaz.
Let me show you how it's done. I activate a personal favorite of mine called Pot of Greed. Sorry, now I pick up 2 more cards.
Who's dueling this guy to get back into the Obelisk Blue Dorm.
But the Chaz always has a plan, so I play this. Anything look familiar? I have a Pot of Greed also, and it lets me draw 2 cards.
My goat wins, of course, but decides to stay in the red dorm, effectively changing nothing, so, you know, there was no point to that episode, just to show that Chaz is amazing, which I already know, dueling this Kaiba wannabe.
What? Whatever. You're a second-rate duelist with a third-rate deck.
But yeah, you can't call that filler because Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is not based on anything. Yes, there's a manga, but if you don't know, the manga and anime of Yu-Gi-Oh! Every single series is completely different. They're their own entities. I'm really only making this distinction just to let you know that just because I gloss over an episode this season, it's not because I didn't like it or I thought it was, you know, filler garbage. It's just that there really was nothing going on in it, okay? And there are quite a few of them. So finally, after that, continuing on, in the next episode, Jaden and Cyrus run into that new guy, Hasselberry, who Jaden duels because Hasselberry has started his own platoon and is challenging randos on the island and taking their duel discs.
Now then, name's Hasselberry, codename Tyranno.
Whatever you say. Hey, what's with your goon squad?
Hasselberry uses dinosaurs like his senpai, Rex Raptor.
Ready? I play Pot of Greed, so I can draw 2 cards.
Through the duel, we find out Hasselberry has had trust issues as his friends usually abandon him. Like in this duel, his guys start cheering for Jaden halfway through. This is because Hasselberry has played it safe his whole life, using the same strategies every duel, so he's gotta evolve. Get it? Because he's Tyranno, and he uses a dinosaur deck, so he's evolving, like Pokemon.
Think about it, Dingleberry. You said yourself you've used the same moves for 12 duels in a row. So, don't you think it's time you evolve?
Nice dinosaur reference, Jay.
He also has Dino DNA. That's not a joke or a random thing, I'm just saying. He has Dino DNA. What that means, well, you'll see in the finale. Jaden wins, of course, and Hasselberry, moved by Jaden's spirit, I guess, basically becomes his new lackey, like Cyrus. Speaking of Cyrus, the next episode is about him, but before that, another problem I kind of have with the season, there's a bunch of little side plots kind of going on. They eventually all get abandoned or come together near the end, but one of them is that Crowler is trying to increase the Academy's reputation through various schemes. One of them is making Alexis and Atticus a singing, dueling duo, so she runs from the blue dorm and crashes with the guys at the red dorm. While a new co-ed sounds awesome, she takes Chaz's new digs he renovated with his family's money, while he moves in with Jaden and Cyrus. Speaking of, again, this episode is about him, and this guy, who is this again? Bastion Masawa, that's right. He comes to tell Cyrus about Crowler setting up a duel between him and some girl named Missy, because Aster Phoenix since the first day has been MIA, and Crowler really wants a pro duelist to help promote Duel Academy. And Cyrus is the brother of Zane, a pro duelist right now, so if Cyrus wins, he'll get promoted to Raw Yellow. If Missy wins, she gets to go pro. Cyrus is apprehensive at first, but sees this as a chance to prove he can be his own duelist. So he duels Missy without his best card, Power Bond, and against all odds, Cyrus does it. He wins, and manages to move up in the world, getting some new confidence and new clothes. I'm right there with you, Cy. But despite him moving out, he's still hanging around the red dorm since his friends are there. I guess I never mentioned it, well, he only had one duel in the first season, but Cyrus uses Void cards. I kind of love them, and I like this episode too, finally giving Cyrus some development since the tag duel.
You can practice all you want. You'll never be as good as Zane.
Oh, take that back! He's confident, he was always a star athlete, got good grades, and then there was me. Zane's little brother. Scared I'd never be that good. Well, you know what? I'm sick of always being scared!
Don't get used to secondary characters getting development in this show, just a heads up for the future. Anyways, what's up with that Aster kid? Well, we see him talking to some weird hooded man in a white room who tells him it's about to go down, because after his next pro duel, he's gonna go after Jaden. And that next pro duel is against Zane. So everyone at the Academy is watching, especially since Jaden wants to see Aster's real deck, and everyone's surprised, Aster uses elemental heroes? Nanny the fuck? But he doesn't fuse the same ones as Jaden, which apparently even Jaden could use, but he didn't even know about other hero cards like that.
Oh, so when Jaden fuses those two heroes, he can decide to form Flame Wingman or Phoenix Enforcer!
Wait, I can? Whoa, who knew?
And using these heroes, Aster kinda trounces Zane.
Alright, Zane, get this! I play Pot of Greed, which I'm sure you know lets me add a couple more cards to my hand.
Really bad.
Well, what do you know, Aster? Pot of Greed. I'll draw 2, and then play an old favorite.
Like it wasn't even close. Maybe it's because he had a little help from his manager. And after Aster wins, he declares he's headed to Duel Academy, because some kid there named Schmain and Schmooky stole his elemental hero deck. Just what's going on here?
There's one fact that no one out there can dispute. I'm the best. I can't be beat. And to prove it, I'm challenging this schoolboy. I won't tell you his name, but it rhymes with
Schmaden Schmooky.
Well, we're about to find out what Aster's deal is, as him and Jaden have that fated duel, but not before the hooded man, who we know now is Aster's manager, a guy named Sartorius, does a little something to Aster's deck before he leaves. And Jaden is in for it, as Aster doesn't just use heroes, he uses destiny heroes, because he's someone who believes in destiny, like his destiny to find out what happened to a special card his dad had, who made the Destiny Hero cards, and disappeared one day, with someone taking the last card he ever made.
Not too bad, but get this! I activate Pot of Greed, so now I can draw 2 cards!
Oh yeah, a weirdly specific thing is that Aster goes around in a hero costume fighting crime because of his dad issues. It's not important, which is so weird because you think after finding out such a very specific thing about him, that would have some bearing on the plot, but no, it comes up maybe once or twice and then is never relevant again. He's just Batman and no one cares. Jaden needs a superhero though, because thanks to Sartorius seemingly rigging Aster's deck without him knowing using some magic, and Aster just not explaining what his cards do, so Jaden keeps playing into them.
First I'll play my Clock Tower Prison Field spell!
What's the deal?
Yeah, Jaden can't tell time. Confused? Wondering why I put a giant clock on the field? Well, I wouldn't want to ruin all the suspense for you, so you'll have to wait.
Seems to be how most people win duels in this anime, honestly. Jaden, in a rare instance, loses, and
His cards! Something doesn't feel right.
What was that? What was that editing? What happened there? Seriously, I have no idea. That wasn't me. That was the show. What the fuck just happened? Well, according to the show, that was a visual indication that Jaden has lost so hard he can no longer see his cards. Jeez, Jaden, why are you making these excuses? I know you don't lose often, but just take the L. Be humble. You want to end up like Atticus, who's harassing Alexis to be a singing duo? Nothing beating him in a duel can't fix.
I play Pot of Greed. This spell card allows me to draw 2 new cards from my deck.
But yeah, now that Jaden can't see his cards, he's been skipping class, and despite his friends trying to cheer him up, nothing's working. Even Chaz, my goat, tells Jaden him giving up after one loss is pussy shit, since he lost to Jaden twice and never gave up, but Jaden says he doesn't care and leaves. Based on both sides, honestly. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Light, Sartorius is confused, because apparently what he did was infuse Aster's deck with something called the Light of Destruction, which was supposed to cause Jaden to be under Sartorius' control. But this is why Jaden can't see his cards, because that's what the light did instead. Sartorius is interested in Jaden because he apparently has the power to defy destiny, and he can see dual monster spirits, so Sartorius wants to brain control him. Since that failed under the guise of being Aster's manager, he comes to Duel Academy to find another person he can use that sees dual spirits, and there's only one we know of, the master of Melodious himself, Chaz Princeton.
They mean well. Monster spirits don't often communicate with the human world, but when they find someone they trust, they can be quite loyal. You have a gift, Mr. Princeton.
Who loses pretty badly to Sartorius' Arcana Force deck, cards that have positive effects for him and negative effects for his opponent if they land right side up, and the opposite if they land upside down. But Sartorius has the power to make sure it always goes his way, controlling destiny, basically cheating. And you know what, I'll admit, I kind of like that power of Sartorius. I think that's on the level of Pegasus, having a cool power that's useful for a children's card game villain. He has a deck that's based on luck, but he controls fate or whatever, so he can always make it go his way. That's kind of cool. I like that. Chaz seems to be into it too, because after losing, he starts wearing white and preaching the good word of the Society of Light.
I finally woke up, and I've seen the light. The Society of Light. It holds all the answers.
Seems kind of sus to me, but if the Noble of Numbers says that they're cool, then white power all the way, my friend. Meanwhile, Jaden, no longer able to see his cards, runs away from Duel Academy, but gets shipwrecked. And then, okay, I want to be extra clear. All the stuff that I'm about to tell you really happens, okay? I didn't make this up. This is stuff that actually happens in the anime Yu-Gi-Oh! GX created in 2000 whatever. So Jaden meets a naked dolphin man with a British accent who tells him about Neospatians, a series of monsters that Jaden made because when he was a kid, he entered a contest by Kaiba Corp to send Duel Monsters cards into space, because if there's life out there, they should know we play some mean children's card games.
Attention all duelists! My company will be hosting a global competition. Anyone who thinks they've got what it takes can enter.
Cause I figure, if there is intelligent life out there, then let's teach them how to duel.
That's not even the weird part. I totally believe Kaiba would do that. Jaden enters his own original cards, the Neo-Spacians, into the contest, as one of the things being sent into space were original designs by a fan, and Jaden won, and they were sent up into the great beyond. While there, they were exposed to a light that helped make them this, and also gives Jaden new cards, including the Neo-Spacians, and one of my personal favorite cards in all of Duel Monsters, Elemental Hero Neos. Neospace has got a brand new hero, other quote, I don't remember the full thing, I'm still tired.
My turn. First, I activate Pot of Greed. So I'll be drawing 2 more cards.
Fortunately, the light had to kill the vibe, because on the side of creating the Neo-Spacians, it also is a sentient being known as the Light of Destruction that's hell-bent on destroying all life on Earth, I think, or maybe controlling it from what we're going to find out. And only Jaden can stop it, which is shown through this duel with a robot that has the light possessing it, I think. I don't know. This duel is half real, but also not happening in reality. It's sort of a dream and magic, or it's alien stuff. I don't know, one of you explain it to me. I don't really care, Elemental Hero Neos is cool, so whatever reason to justify him is alright with me. Through this duel, Jaden gets his groove back and now has some new cards as well. And lucky him, because he actually crashed back on Duel Academy Island, but on the opposite end of any civilization. Womp womp. Okay, so this next episode is one of those episodes I was talking about where it's like, you probably call it filler, but again, original anime, this is part of the story. I guess it's more to say the stuff with the light and Neospace and all that, that's the main dish, where episodes like episode 63, Curry Worries, which by the way, I have not been saying episode names, obviously, but most of them are puns. The last one was called A Greater Porpoise, because there was a dolphin. I'm not saying that to knock it, I like the pun names, they're great. I also, again, don't mind these episodes as long as they're good. Remember, I like the standalone episodes. In the last one, I'm trying to remind you so that you don't keep leaving comments telling me things that I didn't say. My problem with these episodes isn't the fact that they're filler, standalone, whatever you want to call them. It's just that they really mess with the pacing of the main story. Like, I am interested in this new story about an evil entity from space and Jaden having a rivalry with a new hero. You know, that's interesting. But then shit like Curry Worries happens, which feel like it comes out of the abridged version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because in this episode, Hasselberry duels a curry chef who turns out to be the raw yellow teacher who is only trying to get back Hasselberry and Bastion something or other, I forget his last name, to come back to the raw yellow dorm because they all hang around the red dorm now.
Now I activate my Pot of Greed, so I'll be drawing 2 more cards.
Yeah, that's funny, but why is this an episode we get, especially after 2 episodes that progress the story? In an original anime, by the way. And yeah, I liked the dumb single duel episodes in season 1, but that's when it was more episodic and kind of a slice of life. And they did something similar with the Shadow Riders arc. This is not new. But for season 2, since they've had time to develop this, it feels like they couldn't come up with 50-ish episodes to fill out the entire arc. So here's this. And then there's 4 kids. 4 stupid 4 kids. Who by this point has given up, I think. Maybe because the ratings are not as good as the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Because the dialogue has become too self-aware. To the point, again, it feels like dialogue from an abridged series.
A mystery chef versus a sergeant wannabe.
Another typical day.
Come on! I'm almost there. If I just get to the top, I'll be at my dorm. Then I should be able to talk in full sentences. That's what I call a monster.
Great sculpt!
Oh man!
Sam Hill!
Why don't I have a catchphrase?
Any tension this arc would have is destroyed because of the dubbing. And yes, I know, watch the original Japanese, it's better, says every pompous anime fan in my comment section. And well, if you can't tell, guys, this is a retrospective of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series through my point of view, and I watch the show in English, so I'm going to watch it in English, for better or worse. And you've seen the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Even the first season of GX, the dub can be charming at times, you know? But there was one particular episode where I wanted now more than ever to hear some Japanese voices. Not the next episode, that's about Cyrus and Hasselberry having a spat over their boyfriend Jaden, whatever. No, I'm talking specifically about episode 65, where we catch up with Zane, where after his loss to Aster, he's been going through it, going on a long losing streak and dropping from the pros to the minor leagues. He's lost all confidence until a mysterious man tells him of a special kind of duel he can enter, and Zane doesn't find out until it's too late that it's an underground duel, where he's hooked up with shock collars, and when you lose life points, you get shocked as rich assholes watch on in enjoyment. And here, right here, for the dub anyway, I guess, is the worst episode in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not just counting GX, I'm not just counting the original, I haven't even seen the rest of the other series. I think this is the worst episode in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Hands down. And it's for one major reason. Mad Dog, who's the guy Zane duels in this episode. Now, for Yu-Gi-Oh anyway, this is supposed to be a very serious moment in the anime, as Zane, through this duel, gets addicted to underground dueling, and his old strategy of respecting his opponent is flawed because he's no longer winning, and now he does anything to win. Winning is all that matters, he doesn't care, which lets him beat Mad Dog and gives him a spiffy new black outfit. Back in the pros already too, and he talks like Batman now.
But first, I need to remove 6 of my monsters from the game. Actually, I'm only required to remove 2. But I'm in a destructive mood today, so let's do this.
Batman in this season. This, in the context of the show, is serious. Yes, to us, an underground children's card game ring is stupid, but that's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's kind of dumb sometimes, that's why we love it. The important thing is that, you know, the characters and the actors are taking it seriously to help us, you know, be immersed in the show. 4Kids doesn't do that. Now you look at a guy like Mad Dog and you're like, okay, he's a big guy. Maybe he's got a gruff, intimidating voice, and in the original Japanese, he does. But 4Kids, in their infinite wisdom, decided to give him this voice.
No backsies! I win! As it's one in defense mode! Did I scare you already? Well, get a load of this! My trap card! Where's machine acid virus? My trap! Jammer swine! So I sacrificed this! Now you can use your spell card! We're not done yet! I play Pot of Greed, which lets me draw 2 cards!
What? I think I've gone deaf. That is, without a doubt, the most ear-grating voice I've ever heard in my life. It's supposed to be funny, right? Oh, haha, a big guy like that has this stupid, annoying voice. But it's really annoying. Now, here's the thing. You don't truly understand how bad this is. You heard like 5 seconds of a clip of how much ever I decided to show you. Hearing this for 12, 14 minutes, however the fuck he was on screen, was actual... I know that's harsh language, but I truly hated every second he spoke. It ruined this whole episode for me. What should be a serious moment in this anime is destroyed by Goku of all people. Because yes, you eagle-eared viewers could tell that voice is familiar. That's because, indeed, that's Kakarot himself. Things really went downhill after Super. So yeah, for the original Japanese version, cool episode. For the dub, AIDS. And no, despite me going on that long tangent about that, no, I didn't switch to the original Japanese. I stuck with the dub. 4Kids is gonna 4Kids sometimes, unfortunately. But look, I like them. They're not perfect, but they've made good stuff, I swear. At least I like to think so. And if I didn't watch the dub, how could I also rewatch episodes I already saw in a clip show episode, featuring everyone's favorite character, Wheeler the Monkey? See what I mean about the pacing? Do you see why I don't like this season so far? And we're barely a fourth of the way done. There's plenty left. I have a lot more to bitch about. Thanks to watching clips of old episodes, Jaden's back, and he immediately challenges Aster to a duel, who was about to duel Alexis because another subplot going on is Bonaparte is trying to demolish the Slifer Red dorm since it houses the worst students. He wants it and them gone, because why should a prestigious duel academy house these casuals? So Alexis was going to duel Aster, who just kind of happened to be nearby at the time, but Jaden showed up to take her place just in time. And yeah, no surprise, he wins this time thanks to his new Neospatians, that even he doesn't know what they do.
Oh! Neos! Hello? Excuse me? Mr. Neos? We're kind of in the middle of something here?
If you fellows ask me, I'd say he has a lot to learn about his new deck.
Wow. He didn't even read their effects. Jaden's a real Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Awesome! I just drew Pot of Greed, so I pick up 2 more cards.
Luckily, Jaden uses a new thing called Contact Fusion, a method made up to help fusions in the game, the real-life card game, because they were kind of poopy at this time, where you only need the 2 monsters on the field and don't need the card polymerization.
I'm creating a new monster by combining these 2 together. That's against the rules! It's called Contact Fusion, and it's legit.
Which I actually think is a cool mechanic. It's a shame they don't really fucking use it anymore, because instead they just make more broken versions of polymerization. We're gonna see one of them next season.
That's the pro! Pot of Greed! I pick up 2 cards.
Aster, during this duel, starts having his doubts about Sartorius, thanks to him running into Chaz before, who mentioned him because he's all hopped up on the light, you know? So he realizes something's gotta be up, and even realizes Jaden has the power to defy destiny, which Sartorius mentioned before. So Aster decides to stick around Duel Academy since Sartorius seems to have disappeared and he'll probably be back for Jaden eventually. Meanwhile, Bonaparte still wants the Red Dorm demolished, but Crowler has warmed up to the Slifer Slackers and decides to duel him to see if the dorm will stay. Crowler manages to win, and through the duel we find out Crowler has become attached to all his students, even Jaden, and now thinks the Red Dorm isn't bad like he did in Season 1. It's mediocre. Kinda like this series.
Well, your first mistake was challenging me. And then you had the nerve to call my worthless students worthless. Only I can insult those slackers.
During that, Alexis's friends Mindy and Jasmine, don't worry if you don't remember them, you don't have to, come tell the slackers that something weird has happened to the Obelisk Blue Dorm. It's all white now, even the students' jackets, and seemingly leading these new whiteys is the overlord of Ojamas himself, Chaz. While everyone has been distracted, he went to the Blue Dorm beating everyone in a duel, converting them to the Society of Light. To stop him, Alexis challenges him to a duel.
Fine. I activate my Pot of Greed. So I'll draw 2 cards. Then...
Oh boy, here it is, folks. It's a moment in every girl's life. I'm sure the ladies watching, all 2 of them, can relate. When Alexis becomes an official woman in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because not only does she lose, another thing happens. What was it again that happens when you're a woman in Yu-Gi-Oh? Getting brainwashed, and getting brainwashed. Oh yeah, brainwashed, because now she sees the light and, like Chaz, is a crony for the society. Farewell, Alexis and Chaz. You guys were cool for a season and some change, I guess. And this next episode shows how most of the season is going to go from now on, because Bonaparte, still trying to tear down the Slifer Red Dorm, tells Chaz he'll acknowledge the Society of Light as official by the school if one of them can beat Jaden. But if Jaden loses to a society member, I guess the brainwashing will work this time, and he'll be screaming white power too. So yeah, that's most of the duels going forward. With a few exceptions, it's the main characters, mostly Jaden, dueling either a Society of Light member, or someone working for Bonaparte, or someone together, and he wins. All while still referencing the original Yu-Gi-Oh! A season and a half in.
This museum holds legendary dueling artifacts, including the very first duel disc.
Yeah, I remember those seasons too. They were way better. For these duels, I'm not going to spend too much time on them unless there's something interesting, like this one. The guy Jaden duels Lorenzo, I think is kind of funny.
Not bad, right? And this ain't just any intergalactic star cruiser, you know. This baby's got leather seats, tinted windows. Forget about it.
He's like an Italian Brooklyn accent kind of thing going on for him, and he uses words like bada bing.
It's just like a video game. One of my guys gets whacked, and bada bing, I get another one.
And he says paisanos like the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Don't forget, thanks to my boss Rush, I still got a monster coming to me. Now, which paisano will it be?
I realize how much I'm dating myself by bringing up the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Also uses a cool archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's based on the Gradius series. An awesome series, you should play. Yeah, Konami makes this card game and likes to reference their own stuff sometimes. It's cute, I'll give them that. It's almost enough to make you forget about the dogshit decisions they made as a company. In the next episode, Jaden duels Sartorius' lawyer, Howard X. Miller. Yes, you pronounce the X. The only cool thing is he uses Mill, love to see it, and get it because his name's Miller. It's a joke, why aren't you laughing?
Enough talk. I activate the spell card, Pot of Greed. This lets me draw 2 cards.
And Jaden beats him in a similar way to how Yugi beat Maimi in Battle City by using a constantly reviving monster to mill him to death. While we've seen it before, it's still good seeing different strategies other than anime cards pulled out of their ass. Meanwhile, Sartorius may be gaining followers, but Jaden and now Aster seem to be influencing his destiny in more ways than he'd like. And to make matters worse, there's a third person he's aware of that seems to also have some way of messing with his destiny. So he heads back to Duel Academy to find out who that is, and it turns out it's Hasselberry, who recognizes Sartorius when he introduces himself, as the name Chaz and Alexis are always going on about. So he challenges him to a duel. Unfortunately, Sartorius is the last boss of this arc, and Hasselberry isn't the protagonist, so he loses. But to everyone's shock, Tyranno was not brainwashed. Probably because he's not a woman. Actually, it's because of his Dino DNA. See, I wasn't kidding, it's real. He reveals when he was younger, he excavated some dino fossils and injured his leg. Luckily, they had the technology to make him stronger, faster, scalier, by putting a dino bone in his leg. And this gives him Dino DNA, which for some reason makes him immune to the big light in the sky. What drugs were they on when they came up with that?
Ever since, I've had what they call Dino DNA. The doctor says it makes me stronger than your average Joe.
Don't get me wrong, I like this backstory, it's my kind of funny stupid. And if it stopped here, I wouldn't mind it, but oh boy, do they run with the fact that Hasselberry has the spirit of a dinosaur, alright. Anyways, after the duel, realizing he might have to start making moves, Sartorius becomes a student at Duel Academy. No, I didn't misspeak. He becomes a student.
I give you Duel Academy's newest pupil. Sartorius will be entering as a first-year student.
A grown-ass man enrolls in this high school, and the non-brainwashed people are somehow okay with that. Man, Dino DNA, adults mingling with high schoolers, Bonaparte. How can the series get any weirder? Anyway, Jaden duels a princess who works for the Society of Light, because Duel Academy's field trip is coming up, and the winner chooses the location, and Sartorius wants a specific place, but Jaden wins, of course.
Pot of Greed! So I'll draw 2 cards and summon Burstinatrix in attack mode.
I will say, again, this princess character is a good example of bad dubbing, as she talks like a Valley Girl for some reason.
Whatever. Watch this. My favorite. It's my pot of greed. 2 more for me.
Yeah, I don't know why this season specifically, 4Kids seemed very adamant to give one-off characters voices that do not match their designs. But at least, again, this one is funny and not ear-grating, so I kind of liked it. So where do you want to go on your field trip, Jaden?
There's only one place I want to go. We're gonna go to Yugi's hometown, Domino City. Great.
Can't wait for more references to the old show and lore instead of coming up with new stuff. I'd hate to see that. At least Sartorius is happy about it. You know, I'm tired. Getting all upset about this is not worth it. I'm going to take a break. I'll continue this next time. We'll conclude the Society of Light. Whatever. Fuck it. Who cares?
How appropriate.
Chilling out with the crew in the schoolyard, finding trouble, never looking too hard. Well, back at class, they never taught us this. Some things you gotta learn, hit 'em this. We're tough.